Hey folks, it's Real Honesty with Jarrett, I'm Jarrett, and I'm back with more worst matches I've ever seen. I've done 6 parts of this, part 7. I probably got at least part 8, just judging by the list that I have here. Usually I talk about 2 matches per show, so we'll see what happens. But I'm here to talk about Sting versus Magnus at Bound for Glory 2013. Honest to God, not a very good edition of Bound for Glory. Had some good matches, but the debut of EC3, when I said that gimmick wouldn't last 6 months. Boy, I look like an idiot. And it wasn't that I didn't think Derek Bateman couldn't pull it off and wasn't a good worker. I just think attaching yourself to the Carter name would have been horrible, but hey, I was proven wrong, and EC3 is still going strong now. It is one of the most over things, one of the few right things that TNA has done in the past 3 years. But anyway, this is Sting versus Magnus, Bound for Glory 2013. Sting, last pay-per-view match that he had, pretty much one of the last big matches that he had with the company. And he was here to put over a young upcoming babyface. Magnus was doing pretty well at this point, getting more of a push here. And okay, I mean, I didn't expect a great match because Sting at that point was, he was just 2 years from retiring, sadly, because of a bad neck injury. But, oh, it was just bad. It's like the Scorpion Deathlock that he used did not look good because he was barely sitting and putting any pressure on him. And I know it was age and mileage and stuff like that, but it was still hard to watch. Magnus had to really dumb down his offense to beat him, or to, make it look like, Sting could hang with him. And whether it was just wear and tear or Sting simply not caring, I mean, I'm not here to judge. It was just a bad match. I mean, Magnus ended up getting a win, great, but it just was what it was. At least I think Magnus got the win. I don't know. I mean, the match is so bad. I actually forgot who won, but just for sure. But I believe Magnus won. It was just really bad, and the match was just crap, and which is sad. Because it should have been one of Magnus's crowning moments. He would win the TNA title a little bit later. But yeah, this was just not a good launching pad, and it was not a good way for Sting to go out in his final TNA pay-per-view match, and one of his final pay-per-view matches. He would only have 2 other pay-per-view matches and 4 other pay-per-view appearances. But yeah, it's just really sad how this match ended up going. And then also, so I moved to the entire Heroes of Wrestling card. Cheap plug, I did Why 1999 Sucks in Wrestling. I want to say it's like a 16 to 18 part series. It's one of the 2. It might have been almost a 20-part series. But I covered Heroes of Wrestling in an entire show. I didn't just focus on a few aspects of like one company. Heroes of Wrestling was a failed endeavor, and all I can say is just watch it. If you want to watch a train wreck of a wrestling event, watch this. It's absolutely god awful. It's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. And it's just shit. It's absolute shit, and I just can't believe that people would have thought that this show could have been pulled off. There were a couple decent performances, but it was in this weird smoky casino, lounge area that only seated, I want to say, like 2,300 people, maybe? I mean, it might, and I don't even know if that thing was sold out. The capacity, it depends on what you see on Wiki. But, Wikipedia, that is. It was like, if that thing had more than 2,000 people in it, I would have been amazed. And the crowd was thoroughly bored throughout, and I don't blame them, because it was really bad. It looked horrible. It was badly produced, and so many of the talents, even if they were near their prime or just a little bit past their prime, clearly didn't care. And the whole Jake Roberts debacle, it was just sad. Thankfully, he cleaned up his life now, but it's weird to actually look at the card and see, it was the last U.S. pay-per-view appearance of Yokozuna, because he would die a year later. It was just a disaster of a card all around. And now we move on to Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett versus DDP and David Arquette from WCW Thunder in April of 2000. This was a match pretty much to promote the Ready to Rumble movie, which was shit. It was a shit. I mean, not the WWE films and produced much better stuff. Ready to Rumble knew what it was, and it was goofy fun, but it was really, really bad. And David Arquette had made some appearances, a longtime wrestling fan, and even still is now, despite all the hate he gets, which is unwarranted because he was just there to make appearances and they put him in the ring. Don't fault David Arquette, fault whoever came up with the idea. And better yet than whoever came up with the idea, fault the people way above in, at AOL Time Warner, during that whole merger that was happening. Fault the people that were really in charge for telling the people that suggested the idea that it was good, run with it. Because I think the AOL Time Warner people were just, it didn't matter who was in charge, they were trying to, or who was in charge of creative or whatever, they were just trying to kill the companies. So they're like, yeah, that's a stupid idea, go for it. Or, hey, that idea is going to make a mockery of wrestling. It doesn't matter who suggested it. But anyway, it was a tag match, and DDP's wife, ex-wife and storyline, I don't think they were divorced at the time. David Arquette was beat up in the back, so DDP had to go at it alone. Not that DDP shouldn't have been able to take out Jeff Jarrett and especially Eric Bischoff on his own. But yeah, okay, they're getting beat up. DDP suddenly rises to his feet, beats people up. Kimberly gets knocked down at one point in the corner. And she's like, all holding her head and this kind of stuff. David Arquette comes down and hits his running tackle, like not even a spear, it's barely a running tackle on Bischoff, and he ends up he's got a pin on Bischoff. Jarrett at that time uses the title on DDP and covers him. The referee goes over towards Arquette. 1, 2, 3. Heenan has no idea what's going on. I think Heenan was on commentary. I don't remember. I think he was on commentary. Whoever was, and it might not have been him, but whoever was on commentary, it's like everyone was just shocked. They're like, and I'm watching it. It wouldn't have mattered who they put the title on at that point. The company was beyond saving because the people, the high ups, did not want it to succeed. But David Arquette being WCW champion was just an abomination. It's not knocking Arquette. It's not knocking the people he interacted with. It's not knocking creative. Again, it's just knocking those people way above that were stupid enough to greenlight it. And I mean way above. Whoever was in Ted Turner's role, because Ted Turner no longer had the power in his own company anymore. Because he was stupid and made that merger. But yeah, that was just an abysmal match. It was terrible. That being said, they need to put all WCW Thunder episodes on the network. That would make for fun viewing. Even if Thunder, especially after 1998, was not any good. 99, it had a little bit of good stuff. But yeah, by 2000, it was, oh God, it was so bad. It was just bad because the roster was gutted. None of the talents that had any stroke cared anymore. But yeah, it was a disaster of a match. Absolutely abysmal. That's where I'm going to leave this off at. So do you agree so far with what I've said? Do you disagree? And feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Watch the other worst matches shows. And also suggest some by leaving them in the comments or tweet them with my Twitter link in the description. It's been Real Aussie with John Ritlin. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.